extreme weather alert across 49 states as temperatures plunge around the nation, with the polar vortex making its way deep into the United States. And take a look at the headlines, even the southern states. As polar vortex sweeps into Texas, state leaders advise staying home. There's currently no expectation of a conservation alert or an emergency alert from ERCOT, but they're saying that right now around the nation, states are being hit with snow, storms, freezing temperatures, and I'm going to be sharing with you the latest. Now, in addition to that, we also received word in the last 24 hours that things have intensified in the Middle East with the conflict taking place in the Red Sea. The U.S. and the U.K. striking overnight after giving their final warning to the Houthi rebels 60 times, hitting them. And now we've heard back from the Houthi rebels in Yemen that there will be consequences and retaliation against the United States for what unfolded. But stick around to the end for some updates on that. Let's get you caught up on what's happening right now in the United States with the polar vortex hitting and temperatures dropping below freezing with extreme weather alerts in 49 states. So let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, hit the like button. Just takes a second, helps out the channel a ton. And if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and to stay connected off of social media platforms, go ahead and join me at www.steveramnews.com to join the weekly newsletter. But with that being said, let's dive into some video footage.
We do begin tonight with this dangerous winter storm hitting right now. In fact, the storm is so sweeping, 49 states are under alerts at this hour. New York's governor tonight declaring a state of emergency in western New York with this storm coming, followed by the lake effect snow machine there. The National Guard called up, prepared for blizzard conditions and what they're calling life-threatening cold behind it in several states. Wind chills, get this, from 20 to 65 degrees below zero. The blizzard warnings in the Midwest, snow across the Great Lakes tonight, a half a foot in some areas outside Chicago. Severe storms in the south, then heavy rain into the mid-Atlantic and the northeast, with rivers already dangerously high. Montana, by the way, in the blizzard zone. These are pictures there. Wind chills 50 to 65 degrees below zero on the way next. Heavy snow, dangerous driving in the Chicago metro area, a semi-jackknifing. This is I-90, traffic brought to a halt. Downed trees and power lines in Skokie, Illinois tonight. Blinding snow and bitter cold in Des Moines, Iowa. Of course, the caucus is there, just 3 days away now. And look at this, the de-icing of the planes at Chicago's O'Hare Airport today, a ground stop for a time there. More than 2,000 flights canceled nationwide tonight. Rob Marciano timing this out, and Alex Perez leading us off from Chicago.
Tonight, a massive storm bringing blizzard conditions, whipping winds, and life-threatening cold to millions. From the Midwest to New York, where the governor has declared a state of emergency for western New York ahead of up to 3 feet of snow.
It could be falling at a heavy rate of 2 to 3 inches an hour. It'll affect visibility, blizzard-like conditions.
Driving treacherous today across the Chicago area.
You can see the snow is already piling up in many areas. They are expecting a foot or more. Officials in many places telling drivers to stay off the roads if possible.
This tree crashing into a home.
Winds up and the heavier snowfall right now is causing a little bit of mayhem throughout the village.
More than 1,000 flights canceled today at Chicago airports, more than 2,000 nationwide. Nearly every state is on alert for extreme weather. In New Jersey, where the Passaic River is already at major flood stage, residents are bracing for another round of heavy rain and high wind. In Patterson, one family rescued from their home.
You can see those firefighters there standing and literally carrying these residents off of the steps over onto the ladder of their truck.
And right behind this system, a blast of Arctic air headed as far south as Texas. Tomorrow night's NFL wildcard game in Kansas City could be one of the coldest in history, with a wind chill of -23. Arrowhead Stadium now setting up warming stations for fans.
And David, the concern here is far from over. The snow and wind return tonight, impacting visibility on the roads, and then the deep freeze. Temperatures are plunging by Sunday. The wind chill here will feel like 20 below zero. David?
So many states are going to feel this. Alex Perez leading us off tonight. Alex, thank you. Let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano to time all this out for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. This thing's really winding up now, and that rain is going to turn back to snow in Chicago. Blizzard conditions in some areas will continue, and what this storm is pulling down in its wake is nothing short of jarring. Look at all the alerts that are out. We got the wind alerts, those wind chill alerts. That's a huge chunk of the country. Every state, as you mentioned, but Arizona has something going on. All right, the low is going to push across Chicago. The backside of that brings in the cold air, and that heavy rain is going to be pushed up across the Northeast as well, but with some coastal flooding, with some wind as well. Not quite as bad as what we had earlier in the week, but certainly the potential for seeing some flooding. And then the low continues to amplify as it crosses the Great Lakes, and the winds are going to stream off the Great Lakes tomorrow. 1 to 3 feet of lake effect snow through the day tomorrow, through tomorrow night, and does include parts of the Buffalo game as well. And look at these wind chills across the midsection of the country, 20, 30, 40 degrees below zero. There's Kansas City. Those sort of wind chills will give you frostbite to the exposed skin in just 10 minutes. David?
Got to take it seriously this weekend. Rob Marciano with us yet again tonight on another storm. Rob, we sure do appreciate it.
So please prepare for these freezing temperatures that, if they have not already hit, are going to be on the way. And take a look at this article that came out just 21 hours ago regarding Texas. For those of you in the southern states, sub-freezing temperatures are slated to grip the state of Texas over the weekend and continue through Wednesday next week as the polar vortex moves across the continental U.S. This will be one of the coldest episodes that Texans will have lived through, but it's not anywhere close to the February 2021 storm, Governor Greg Abbott said in a news conference on the weather conditions. We want to make it through this event, protecting the lives of every Texan. Abbott advised Texans to be prepared for a few days of staying inside to avoid the cold weather. There is a potential for precipitation, including sleet and freezing rain in parts of central and east Texas. But overall, it will not come close to the snowfall turned ice storm that hit the state 3 years ago. Temperatures in the Panhandle will dip down or go below 0 degrees on Monday night. In Austin, the low is expected to drop to 15 degrees, 23 in Houston, and 10 in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Those lows are substantially higher than the lows that hit during 2021's event, and without the precipitation, Abbott and other state leaders said that there's no comparison to that storm, neither in severity nor length. Abbott added, "We feel very good about the grid and ERCOT being able to ensure the power stays on." So great news for those in Texas. Tuesday and Wednesday morning around 8 a.m., when businesses start ramping up their electricity usage, are expected to be the tightest periods on the grid, according to officials. Pablo Vegas, CEO of the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, said that there are currently no expectations of issuing either an emergency alert or a conservation request. He added that due to the low precipitation of the storm, wind generators are expected to have little issue generating power so long as the wind blows. Monday will be cloudy, Vegas said, and Tuesday and Wednesday will be a good condition for solar generation. ERCOT's current 6-day forecast shows very tight conditions on Tuesday evening around 8 p.m. as the sun sets. We'll use every available tool to ensure that the power is supplied during this event. And rolling blackouts are not triggered unless an energy emergency alert is triggered. If reserves drop below 1,500 megawatts, or if the grid frequency deviates too far from its means. So do prepare for those freezing temperatures. However, the good news is that ERCOT is saying that they do believe that the power grid will sustain. Now, one of the things that have concerned people recently is potential for terrorist attacks within the United States. And we also received warnings of this in the last 24 hours as well, with the conflict increasing in the Middle East and the attacks taking place. Now, to see the latest on that and the warnings coming out from officials, be sure to check out this video right here next, as I covered it in detail for you live as it came out yesterday. But you guys, that is the latest. Try to stay warm during the weekend, and going into next week, I'll keep you up to date on anything else as it comes out. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.